Hello there, world of tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, Droodles Blitz, and in today's video, I have some rather insane news to share with you. This is probably the craziest news I have ever seen Wargaming announce, and they didn't really announce it. It's not in their news feed, it's not anywhere, but when you dig a little bit, you will understand why what I'm about to share with you might be the biggest change that we will ever see, apart from the Unreal Engine being added into Blitz in the near future. What exactly am I talking about? Well, a lot of you may have noticed when logging into your accounts that this very annoying pop-up has been visible, saying, update your credentials. We've noticed you are using multiple accounts with the same login credentials across different regions. If you'd like to use multiple World of Tanks Blitz accounts, choose unique login credentials for each of them. If you'd prefer to have only one active account, link your accounts. In other words, Wargaming wants you to separate different accounts from different servers. So my European server account currently has the same email as my North American server account. And Wargaming wants me to change the email on one of those accounts so that way they are not the same. Now you might be asking why? Why have they all of a sudden asked us to do this? Well, I can show you the reason why right now. If we read this is in the little questionnaire right here. They have a whole post that you can read up on if you want to read it. But in this whole thing, I've screenshotted one very important bit of text. It says, link accounts if you plan to use only one account when regions are merged. Yes, you heard that correctly. When regions are merged. Think about that for a second. Wargaming just announced that they are merging all the servers, the current 3 servers, North America, Asia, and Europe, into one server. Yes, you heard that correctly. We are all going to be one big happy family on the same server. Now that is insane. This will be happening in February 2025, the beginning of February 2025. So that is 4 months from now. Not even. We're currently almost in the 11th month. We are almost in November, which means that, yeah, in probably around 3-ish months, 3.5 months, Wargaming is going to be implementing this into the game, which is kind of scary. I'm going to be talking about some of the reasons why I think Wargaming is doing this, and also some of the ways that this is possibly going to affect the entirety of the game. First of all, we have comp. Comp is currently split across different servers, right? EU comp, NA comp, and Asia comp. Now, I will admit the NA comp scene and Asia comp scene have been pretty dead lately. And NA, at least, which is what I play on mostly, has severely seen a skill decrease over the years. It's very easy to finish quite high now, which it didn't used to be in the past. And it's unfortunate. Not only that, but I have a feeling it's the same on the Asia server. EU obviously is a lot of competition just because it's the largest server in the game, and especially with the Lesta splitting and everything, EU is just huge and competitive in the comp right now. The question I have is, Wargaming going to now make it so that there is no NA, EU, and Asia comp? Is it all going to be one big comp scene where all of these different players from all these different servers are now going to be fighting it out against each other, kind of like the OG Twister Cup? I think that might be the case. Now, I could be wrong, but I think that's what Wargaming is planning on doing. I think they may have realized that the NA comp scene is kind of dead, that the Asia comp scene is kind of dying, and that Europe does have a big comp scene, but it's the only one. So maybe they're using their brains and they're thinking, gee, well, if we merge all the servers, we can make one huge comp scene, and not only that, we can make a bigger prize pool. I think that's what they might be doing there. I could be wrong. Maybe even after the server merge, they're still going to have separate comp scenes, but I just don't really see that as a possibility. I have a feeling a lot of the comp players are going to be quite mad about this. Probably not the European players as much, but I do think the NA player base and the Asia player base is going to be quite salty, especially the players in Joker, especially the players in Origin, at least on the NA server, because they've dominated the NA scene for so long. It's time to give up that seat. You're going to be fighting a lot of more competition, bros. I'm actually glad if that's the case, because I think NA comp has been incredibly stale. The skill has kind of stagnated because of the fact that, you know, the top teams have just stayed the top for the last X amount of time. So I'm actually glad that Wargaming is putting possibly a big spin on this, and we'll have to see what happens there. With that aside, we then break into the ping issues. A lot of people might be questioning, is my ping gonna suck? Because obviously, if I'm playing on NA right now, my ping's good. It's like 30 to 40. But if I swap over to the European server, or even the Asia server, it's upwards of 200 to 250 ping. So people might be asking, wait, how is my ping going to be affected? Well, it shouldn't actually be affected, because the servers are currently managed by where you live, right? So I live in Ohio, and for me, the closest server is probably, I think, in Texas. I don't know exactly where Wargaming has their servers, but I know that they have a branch, a headquarters in Texas. But let's just say the server's in Texas, right? So when I'm playing on the NA server, I'm connected to that server. However, if you play on Europe, you are connected to the UK server, right? So if I'm playing on, if I live in America and I'm connecting to the European server, it's connecting me to that server in Europe. However, that's not how it's going to work in the server merge. The way I would assume it's going to work is that I'm still connected to the Texas server, and it's then going to send my information to Wargaming. And the people connected in the European server are still connected to their server, and that's going to send it to the Wargaming's server. So essentially, the pings should still be the same, but it's going to all be relayed back into one main frame. So ideally, the ping shouldn't really be too much affected, and if it isn't, that's actually going to be quite nice. If it is affected, then that's going to absolutely suck, but I don't think it is going to be. The other question I have is about language barriers. Obviously, there's a lot of different languages in Europe. German, Russian. I don't know if Ukrainian's its own dialect. It's basically the same as Russian. But point being, there's a lot of different languages, and especially for Asia as well. There's Chinese, there's well, I don't know if the Japanese players play on the Asia server. I don't know how that works because they're all located in different areas. But the point being, there are many different language gaps in the different servers. And I don't know how Wargaming plans on doing the chat. Are they going to have an open chat? Like on the NA server, for example, I can type whatever I want to both my teammates and the enemy team with global chat. EU server does not have that right now. They don't have global chat because of the conflict going on in Ukraine right now. So is that going to be something that Wargaming is going to resolve, or is there just going to be no chat in the game? Is it only going to be team chat? How are they going to solve that? I don't know. Maybe they could add, for example, I was playing Roblox with a friend today, and in Roblox, it automatically translates what you type if it's in a different language. It would be really cool if Wargaming implemented AI and had it automatically translate what was being said so everybody could understand it, but I have no clue if that will actually be the case. Point being, right now, we'll have to see what happens in that regard. But, yeah, this is huge information. This is actually huge. For all the people complaining that their server sucks and that this server is easier, well, I guess you won't be able to say that anymore because now the servers are all going to be one thing. As I said, this is happening February 2025, so just 3-ish months away. That's a lot sooner than you think. Now, my assumption is that Wargaming is also going to be implementing the Unreal Engine at the same time into the game, because Unreal Engine is a big, big plan that Wargaming has that they're working on. I would assume that they're going to merge the servers and release Unreal Engine at the same time. So, now we arrive to the final question. Why is Wargaming merging the servers? This is probably what a lot of you are asking, because it is kind of a weird thing to do, since the servers haven't been merged forever. And, well, I think the reason is pretty obvious, but I also don't know if this is the actual reason, but it's what came to mind immediately for me. And that is the fact that, well, the game doesn't have that many players on the NA server and the Asia server. I mean, there's still like probably 20, 30,000 weekly players on both the Asia and NA server, but at certain time periods, there are not many people online. If I am playing on NA and it's 4 a.m., there's not many people. You will be running into noob MM players. You will be sitting in queue for sometimes 10 minutes. Like when a new tank comes out at 4 a.m. for me, I will wait and wait and wait to make a review on that vehicle till 4 a.m. And the problem is, for example, like the Lightbringer, when you get a new tank, it specifically tries to put you in a matchup that is even tiered. The problem is, you have to wait in queue a long time. So I had to wait literally like 15 minutes in queue sometimes to get my Lightbringer battles. It's insane. That is probably the major reason why Wargaming is doing the server merge, is because they know that at certain time periods there aren't that many people playing on the NA server, on the Asia server, and they want to solve that problem. So merging the servers will make it so that there are always people active. And that's actually good for the game, to be honest, because sitting in queue is not something you want to do. Wargaming's talked about how they don't want to implement a better matchmaker into the game because of the fact they don't want people to have to wait in queue for 18 years. So implementing this change could also add in ways that they might be able to add some sort of better matchmaking. It also means they could try to implement skill-based matchmaking again, which would absolutely suck, but I guess we'll have to see. Point being, it's a lot of information that's being thrown at us. Now, some of you might be saying, oh, the game's dying, and that's why they're merging the servers to make it look like the game's still popular. I don't think that's the case. I don't think the game's dying. I think that people that come to that conclusion are wrong. Wargaming made $7 billion last year, which is the highest amount of money they've ever made. And yes, they do monetize the game more than they do in the past, but still, the fact that they've made more money means that there are still people spending money on this game. And not only that, but I have a feeling that Wargaming is going to continue making more and more money every year. So I don't think the game's dying. I think that a lot of people say it is, but I don't really think that's the case. I think that it's just a smaller game in general, and it's just taking a while in terms of popularity. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you guys think. Do you agree with these decisions that Wargaming's making? Do you disagree? I mean, really, the only people that are going to be mad are the, I guess, comp players if this happens. But it's not really going to affect me. It's not really going to affect you. I mean, yeah, the stats might change a bit. My stats might go up. They might go down, depending on how these servers combine. But I don't really think it's going to matter that much. And I'm actually really excited for this change because people for years have been wanting to play with people on different servers. And now you can. So, yeah, this is pretty cool. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.